Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Lord Ian Douglas. Another video about staying safe at Pennsic. Pennsic 50 is coming up in 20 some odd days now. Probably less than that by the time you see this. So, time to start panicking. This is going to be a food safety video about eating and staying safe food-wise at Pennsic. Again, this is not an official anything from anybody. It's just me with 30 years experience. So, um, if something I say doesn't make sense, use common sense and protect yourself. So, you're going to be eating at Pennsic. You're going to eat a lot at Pennsic. Just so you know, you're going to eat a lot at Pennsic. And the reason you're going to eat a lot at Pennsic is because Pennsic is a much bigger calorie grab than your average everyday event or your mundane everyday workday. So, you're going to burn more calories just existing at Pennsic. So, you're going to eat more. And this is something you're going to have to consider. If you're on a special diet, please consider that and take that into consideration. Talk to your doctor and say, hey, I'm going to be away for a week at a strenuous vacation. What should I do? And let them help you out if you're on that kind of diet. The easiest thing to do about this kind of diet situation and eating, obviously, is eat out. Go to the food court and eat something. This doesn't save your pocket any money, but it certainly saves you time and effort as far as keeping anything going is concerned. This video is what if you don't want to do that. So, first off, that's not a bad idea. They're not cheap, but they're not as expensive as some people think. Portions are good. You know, at least eat out once, treat yourself. It's vacation. As far as regular food is concerned, start with non-perishables, canned food, prepackaged food, lunchbox meals, things like that, things that do not need refrigeration at all. If you're doing canned food, think about stuff that you're willing to eat if all you did was open the can and eat it. Are you willing to open a can of tuna fish and just get a fork and eat it? Or SpaghettiOs or something like that. I'll be honest with you, I'll eat a can of SpaghettiOs out of the can, no problem. Like a can of beef stew, however, that kind of needs to be heated up. Don't cook it in the can. Just because you saw somebody in a movie do it where they took the can and they opened it up, first off, obviously, open it. Never put a full can, closed can in the fire unless you're trying to kill yourself. Don't do it. It will explode. But opening the can and putting it in a fire, don't do it. Yeah, you saw it in a movie back in the day before they lined all this stuff with plastic. Those cans are lined. It keeps you from dealing with a rusty can that could contaminate your food. And this is a great thing to keep your food fresh. But they figure you're going to open it, pour it in a bowl, and microwave it, or cook it, or eat it. They don't expect you to be like, Tom Sawyer sitting there on the Mississippi with your little can over the campfire. They don't expect that stuff. Not anymore. So don't cook in the can. But have things that you're willing to eat cold is always the easiest option. Anything you're going to heat up in a container, in a pan or pot or something. So consider how you're going to do that. This video and all these videos should start with the next one. Wash your hands. Use soap and water. For real. Hand sanitizer doesn't count. It tastes nasty and it doesn't count. Don't wash your hands. Next, anything that you are taking that is cold, make sure you keep your coolers separate. If you are keeping your beer or your sodas or your Gatorade or whatever drinks you're drinking, first off, none of those have to be refrigerated. But if you're keeping them cold, give them their own cooler. Do not put them in with your regular food. Two reasons. One, they don't need to be cold. So if it runs out of ice, you got to put more ice in it later. Oh well. It won't go bad. Your food will. Second, you're going to be opening and closing that cooler much often. Hey, I'm going to get a drink. Oh, hey, you want a drink too? Open, close, open, close. Don't do that to your food. Also, if there is something contaminating your food cooler, there is a meat product or some, oh, you have some chicken in there and it opened or something happened. and you have your beer in there or canned anything in there, you now have cross contamination and now your drinks are screwed. You don't want to do that. Um, so just avoid it. Separate coolers. Your food cooler, keep it as coordinated as possible. So when you go in, you grab what you need, close it real quick, no problems. This is not a professional commercial or anything, but I'm going to show you something. Legitimate Tupperware, not knock off anything. This is a legitimate Tupperware. And the reason I'm mentioning this, and there will be a link below, I don't make any money on it, but Triona might if you go there. Dead Sea Tupperware, still fresh. I can't even open it. It's so new. There we go. These are called modular mates. And the reason I'm saying this particular type of Tupperware is if you go on their website, they will tell you the measurements of how big these things are. And you can measure them. They stack, they all use the same lids. And you can measure the inside of your cooler. And now you know this will hold a box of frozen hamburgers. We buy the box of frozen hamburgers and put them in here and drop it in the ice. It now cannot contaminate the ice because it's in here. And then we get the small one for the cold cuts and stuff like that. And they don't contaminate each other and they all fit and everything's measured out. We have a big marine cooler that we measured the distances in, and these all stack on each other, all fit perfectly. So, you can open the cooler, go, hamburgers, cheese, close, and you don't have to worry about it. Yes, Ziploc bags are easier to deal with as far as the fact that when you're done, you're going to throw them out. Yay, that's it. Because these things you have to wash when you're done. The problem is I've yet, in the decades that I've done this, I have yet to have something not leak in a Ziploc bag. Whether the water got in or the blood from the hamburgers or whatever got out into the water in the cooler, I've yet to have that not happen. So realistically, no, the Ziploc bags are not cheaper because now I've thrown out 10 pounds of hamburger meat, 20 pounds of chicken, all the cold cuts. I've thrown all that stuff out because I saved a couple of pennies on a Ziploc bag. No, not worth it. Cleaning time. That thing's empty. Your fry pan is done. You're done cooking, what have you. Okay. As far as cleanup is concerned, at my camp, we tend to use paper plates. We use the super cheap, flimsy, untreated paper plates. They are kind of hard to get nowadays. Most people don't like using them because they are crappy. They are really flimsy and stuff. And you end up using 3 of them or 4 of them if your food is heavy. But that's not really an issue for us right now. We're trying to eat cleanly and safely. And if you get the plastic coated ones, you can't put it in your fire. I mean, you can. It's Western Pennsylvania. People do a lot of stupid things in Pennsylvania. But you sit there and watch the plastic go, and you're like, that's probably a bad idea. The untreated paper plates are just paper. You can use them to start your fire the next day with them. And if anything else, the bacon grease from breakfast or the burger grease or whatever is on there makes the fire start faster. And you're not even remotely tempted to reuse the plate. So you're not going to have anything cross-contaminating. Okay. Now, the boiling bags only go so far, and the paper plates, fine. But you're still going to have the pot you cook the boiling bags in. You're probably still going to cook other foods. When you're done, you're going to have to clean up. We found this stuff, found it like it's a secret. It's a spray dish soap. The idea of this is it takes less water, and it does help. But real soap is a good thing. When you're done, make sure you rinse it. In my camp, we have a sink, but we also have 3, like if we're not using the sink or what have you, we have 3 of the big Homer buckets from like Home Depot, the big plastic buckets. and we fill them with water. One for the things to soak in, one for them to rinse in, and one for sanitizer. And we will sit there and spray them down, scrub them up, rinse them real good. And then we have this stuff, new foam, sanitizing tablets, multi-purpose sanitizing tablets. I will have to flip this video so you actually see it, not backwards. This has been sitting around for a while, so it's kind of greasy itself. These things, it will tell you how many to a gallon, how many of these tablets to a gallon. They're a little blue. Oh, there's cotton in there still. They're these little blue tablet things where you drop them in the water and they're cold sanitizing. So you don't have to have like boiling water and stuff to make it sanitized. Yes, you can use bleach. Be real careful with bleach. It is, a lot of bleaches are used solely for laundry and have stuff in them that's not supposed to be used for people. Some of it's not even that strong. Also, you've probably been working on garb recently. Do you really want to be splashing around with bleach? Probably not. Bleach stains in your garb suck. You do, however, every so often want to drop some bleach down your sump hole so you're not collecting nastiness in your sump hole, which is the hole you dig for your wastewater to go into. Putting some bleach in that is not a bad idea, especially if you have standing water in there. Keep your stuff on ice. As long as your cooler is under 40 degrees, this is where you want it to be. Now, there is an argument between cubed ice and block ice. I don't think they're selling block ice at Pennsic anymore. Block ice lasts longer. Cubed ice will cool things down quicker. But as long as your cooler is cool, keeping it to 40 degrees or lower, that's really all you care about. If you go through an extra bag of ice because you're using cubes, oh well, it's a part of the expense of being there. Sorry to say, but that's life. Nothing says love like avoiding foodborne illness, so don't get your friends sick. That's about it. If it seems like a bad idea at home, it's probably a bad idea at Pennsic. So, if something seems a little off, toss it. Don't force yourself into a situation where it's like, no, it's not historically correct to eat rancid meat. That's not a thing. It's not, period. People got sick back then too. So don't get your, no, it's not. They had access to more fresh food back then than we do now because they had to. So, also, there's plenty of available producers, farmers markets and stuff not too far where you can pick up usually corn, lots of corn, which is pretty tasty. And as far as cooking in your fire is concerned, do be careful. Don't cook over pressure treated lumber, or you want to cook over hardwoods and stuff like that. It's probably better that if you want to have the atmosphere of cooking over the fire, get yourself a bag of charcoal. Separate your fire so you can have your fire part, because people didn't cook over like roaring fires. They build a bed of coals and cook over the coals. So get yourself some charcoal. I know Kingsford, not Kingsford, the log company, the Duraflame, makes a log that you can cook over. That's for roasting marshmallows. It's really not for cooking. But, if you got your fire pit going or whatever, dump a bag of charcoal on one side of your fire pit, get it going, push the other questionable logs to the side, and you can cook over those coals so you're not getting the creosote and nastiness from the pressure treated or whatever lumber that they dropped at your camp. It still gives you your atmosphere, but you still have charcoal that's reasonable to cook over. So I hope this helps you out. Be safe. Have yourselves a great war. I'm going to put up another cat photo because you know I'm going to. And I will see you at war.